I wanted to play the football career of the Waterboy, Bobby Boucher. Bobby is the hardest hitting linebacker in the history of the sport, but he just started out as a water boy who appreciated a good cup of H2O and ensured everyone was properly hydrated. That was until Coach Klein realized his potential and unleashed an absolute monster. We're taking over before Bobby gets to college, and before mama even knows I'm playing foosball. I'd get my first TFL of the game late in the first quarter, but I was struggling conceptually trying to defend the pass, and the receiver would run right behind me and right into my zone, so I knew there was parts of my game where I definitely needed to improve. I was anxious to get in on every single hit that I could, even if the guy was already getting brought down. But on 3rd and goal, the Monroe quarterback would hit his receiver on the slant for the touchdown, and in the 3rd quarter they were driving again, but I would do a great job of maneuvering through traffic to go and take the quarterback down. Again, I wasn't where I was supposed to be, as that drag would pull me away from the dig window I was supposed to be in, but at least I would make the tackle. And on this huge 3rd and 8, I would chase down the running back and tackle him just short of the line to gain. The offense wasn't able to get much going, but the defense kept holding Monroe, and we would force them to a field goal on this possession. In addition to being the starting middle linebacker, I was on the punt unit, and I was going down and making plays, including this forced fumble that we weren't able to recover, but would go on to win the game anyways. I would finish with 7 tackles. I was frustrated with myself after not being able to get off the block on this play, even though I would end up getting the tackle 16 yards down the field. I took all my frustration out on the Port Island quarterback, and I would blow him up, separating him from the ball, ending the drive there. But after our offense couldn't get anything going, the Port Island offense would just keep on driving down the field, and this was one of my worst stretches. After I missed the tackle, I would be the reason we let up a touchdown. Since I couldn't strap up the receiver, we would be able to get back within 1, and I was flying all around the field. I was in on plays where I shouldn't have even been there, and I was hoping one of the Louisiana schools would recognize me. I kept doing my part, and I was contributing in any way possible, and I was hit sticking guys at every chance. But in the 4th quarter, when we needed to stop most, I would try to track the running back down, but I would dive and miss the tackle, and they would set themselves up inside the 5. Port Island would score the very next play, so when I made this great TFL, it was just to pad my stats and put something on my highlight film, as we were now 1-1. I started this game off struggling in coverage again. Now, I'd like to put a little bit of the blame on the other inside backer, but as a team leader, I'll take that on me. Thankfully, we sacked them and pushed them out of field goal range, and every time I was on that punt unit, I promise you I'm seeing red. But with our offense barely being able to do anything, we just kept giving them good field position, and of course they'd eventually take advantage of it. I avoided all the blockers and made the tackle, but it didn't matter because on 3rd and 7, they'd connect for a touchdown anyways. I thought I was going to be quick enough to force an incompletion on this play, but my anticipation just needed to be better in general. And even though I played absolutely atrociously in this loss, I was still getting attention from the Louisiana schools. I knocked the kid unconscious in this game against the Rider, and on 3rd and 16 I pressured the quarterback and they weren't able to convert, and the quarterback pissed down his leg when he saw me coming, so he just threw the ball 15 yards behind him, and we would recover it and take it all the way in for the touchdown and a 14-0 lead. The Rider would score just before the half to make it a 1-possession game on this long touchdown pass. But we were still in control of the game, and I was making sure to continue to deliver punishing hits to receivers whenever I could. On 3rd and 6, we would end their possession when our cornerback went up and got this interception, and I was almost wishing the coach would put me in on offense at this point because we just weren't getting anything going. But I just kept showing college scouts that I was willing to do anything, and my specialty was definitely giving little children CTE. Our offense would finally put a field goal up on the board in the 4th quarter to extend our lead to 2 possessions, and after we got this sack on 4th down, the game was pretty much out of hand. If we continued winning games, there was a good chance we were going to make it to the playoffs, and ULM actually offered me a scholarship. This was one of those games that I just wish I didn't have to show, but for the sake of integrity, I will, because we got embarrassed. But it wasn't because of a lack of effort from me. The Mud Dogs just sucked, and I mean sucked. We sucked more than a vacuum, but that wasn't going to discourage me from going out and making big plays and laying boomsticks. I was quickly developing the reputation of one of the hardest hitting linebackers in the country, but playing for such a shitty school in the middle of nowhere, I thought that LSU would never recognize me. Being down 33 points was definitely embarrassing, and I would do everything in my power to make sure that this would never happen again. I mean, at least not this badly. I can't guarantee wins, I'm not the quarterback. I played so well individually that Louisiana Tech offered me a scholarship. We started this game against Thibodeau up 7-0, and that was a headhunter early. As I was looking for the quarterback, this hit would knock the air out of him. And the next time we punted the ball, I ran down the field so fast and hit this kid so hard the ball flew out of his hands. Even though we didn't recover, I know we struck the fear of God into them. And after finally taking a look at what our offense was doing, I realized why we sucked so much. Guys were dropping wide open passes, and it was up to the defense to try and carry us. I was starting to get a real feel for the game, and I was finding every little crack and crevice to run through to make the tackle. And after this O-lineman basically pushed me into his running back, I'd easily make the TFL. On the next punt down, I would force another fumble, but we were just unlucky we're trying to recover them. We were surprisingly up in the fourth quarter, and when the quarterback looked to run on this play, I activated demon mode, and I hunt his ass down. And I was like a heat-seeking missile, because that was the only person I was looking for at this point. After the best game of my high school career and being named player of the game, I got a call from Nick Saban saying that he was looking at me. I was laying the wood to start this game against Baton Rouge. Pause. But even though I was one of the better run defenders in the state of Louisiana, I was still having trouble in defending the pass. I tried to make up for my bad play by slithering through the defense and making this TFL. They would miss the long field goal, and I did a good job of tripping up the returner even though I couldn't make the clean tackle. We kicked the field goal just before halftime to go up 3-0, and this was going to be a defensive battle all the way through. On a crucial third down, I played in between two receivers and was able to make the tackle just short of the sticks, and my relentless effort on the punt unit finally paid off as the returner would muff it and I would recover it, and we would put the game away as I earned my 4th star, and both LSU and Alabama offered me scholarships at linebacker. We were in a crazy playoff game against Rayville, and my tackles on the punt unit continued. This was win or go home, and Rayville pulled out all the stops, going for it on a fake punt. Our offense couldn't do anything with the momentum, but I just kept giving kids concussions, and that was good by me. I was slowly getting a hang for this whole linebacker thing, because on this passing play, I'd actually affect this throw a little bit and it'd be incomplete, forcing the field goal. After shattering this kid's ribcage, all I could do was watch from the sideline as our offense tried to score. We would convert this huge 4th and 7 and would actually end up taking the lead in the 4th quarter. However, Rayville wasn't going to roll over and die. They would methodically put a drive together with this first completion. And even though they weren't getting big chunk plays, every single yard mattered because all they needed was a field goal to win this game and advance to the next round of the playoffs. But my poor skills and coverage would end up costing us the game because on 4th and 4, the receiver would run right into my zone and complete it, making this field goal that much easier, and we'd get eliminated from the playoffs. I was feeling real down, even though I had my highest tackle game of my career and Georgia had just offered me, but I couldn't mope around for long because I needed to make a decision. Leave in the comments where you think I should go, and subscribe if you got this far.